Once upon a time, in a bustling town, there lived a kind and gentle merchant. Every day he transported goods to a village on the other side of a hill. Accompanying him were two loyal donkeys, Ramu and Shamu. Each morning he would load their backs with heavy sacks, raw sugar, salt, rice and grains. One morning something was different. As the merchant prepared for the trip, Ramu felt extremely weak. His body was frail, legs trembling and head heavy. Yet Ramu could not speak, for donkeys cannot talk. The merchant, unaware of Ramu's condition, placed the usual burdens on both donkeys. The journey began. They stepped onto a winding, rocky and steep path. For Shamu it was just another day, but for Ramu every step was a struggle. His breathing became labored, his legs grew weaker. Still, Ramu pushed on, hoping he could make it through the harsh road ahead. He knew he couldn't do it alone, but would anyone care enough to notice? As the climb continued along the gravelly slope, Ramu's strength slowly faded. Each step felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. His breath became shallow. His heart pounded wildly in his frail chest. Sweat drenched his body, his legs shook as if they would collapse any moment. Eventually, Ramu turned to his companion, Shamu, his eyes full of desperation. In a soft, exhausted voice, Ramu pleaded, "Shamu, I'm very weak today. I don't think I can finish this journey. Could you carry just one of my sacks? Just one. It might be enough to help me survive this trip if you help me." But Shamu didn't even glance back. His voice was cold, filled with pride. "That's your job. Everyone carries their own load. I'm not taking on anything extra. Just keep moving." Ramu's heart shattered. He said nothing more and lowered his head, dragging himself forward, bearing not just physical pain, but also the deep loneliness inside. When they reached a steep incline, Ramu's hoof suddenly slipped on a sharp stone. He stumbled, then fell. The sacks tumbled off his back, rolling across the path. And before he could steady himself, Ramu slid down the mountain slope, vanishing into the deep valley below, without a trace. Shamu froze. He screamed in despair, "Ramu! No! Ramu!" The merchant rushed over, but it was too late. Ramu was gone, forever. Shamu stood there, stunned, his heart heavy in a storm of regret. He stood motionless at the cliff's edge, eyes staring into the abyss where his dear friend had disappeared forever. His heart felt crushed. Every cry of Ramu echoed through the mountains, but it was all too late. With teary eyes, the merchant gathered the fallen sacks and placed them all on Shamu's back. Now Shamu had to carry not just his own burden, but also Ramu's, the burden he once refused to share. Every step Shamu took was a sentence. His shoulders ached, his legs trembled, but the pain in his heart was even greater. Each step was a reminder of his failure, the moment he ignored his friend's desperate cry for help. Just one sack. Ramu asked for just one, yet Shamu couldn't open his heart. For the rest of the journey, Shamu no longer noticed the mountains, the weight, or the distance. He walked silently, tormented by guilt. He no longer feared the weight on his back. He feared the burden in his heart, crushing him forever. This story reminds us that sometimes someone around us is in need. Sometimes they speak up, but often they suffer silently. If we choose to ignore them, we may not only lose that person, but lose a part of ourselves. Helping a friend, a stranger, anyone in need is not a burden, it's a gift. One small sack, one small act can sometimes save a life, and a little indifference, a bit of selfishness, can leave a wound that never heals. Don't wait until the day you whisper, "If only." Listen, observe, and reach out when someone needs you. Because this world becomes a better place if no one has to carry their burden alone. There are moments in life when someone near us is silently crying for help. They don't scream, they don't break down, they just look at us with weary, quiet eyes. Maybe they just need a hug, a simple question, or a small gesture to show they are not alone. But if we turn away, if we're too busy with ourselves to care, we might never have another chance. Like Shamu, we often only realize the value of kindness when it's too late. One sack, one moment of help, not heavy, not hard, but enough to save a life, preserve a friendship, or simply heal a heart. Life spares no one from weakness, even the strongest stumble. And it's tragic if someone falls because no one was willing to share the load. Think about this. If each of us is willing to help someone else, just a little, the world would be much gentler. A word of encouragement at the right time, an unselfish gesture, a quiet presence beside someone in pain. These simple things can create miracles. Don't wait until you find yourself walking with a double burden, both physical and emotional. Don't wait until you're at the edge of a cliff, watching someone disappear and cry out in agony, if only. Because regret is the heaviest burden in life. Be the one who reaches out first. Be the one who hears the sighs others don't speak aloud. Because when you help others, you also save a part of yourself. When you share, you lose nothing. In fact, you grow richer. In love, in compassion, in human worth. Finally, if this story touched you, share it. Tell someone who needs to hear it. Write down your feelings, so not just you, but those around you are reminded, helping others is never a burden. It's a gift you give to life. And if you want to walk with stories like this, subscribe, so we can build a world where no one carries their burdens alone. Life is a long journey full of steep climbs and deep valleys. Along the way, we all carry our own loads. Work stress, old wounds, fears about the future, and inner pain that hasn't healed. Some days we stride strong, other days we collapse. And at those times, what we need isn't someone to carry everything for us, but someone who's willing to slow down, reach out and say, "I'll walk with you." Ramu wasn't lucky enough to have that. All he asked for was a little help, one light sack, but was rejected with indifference. That rejection didn't just cost a life, it left a scar in Shamu's heart that would never heal. A scar named If Only. We live in an age where everyone is busy. Everyone has a reason not to stop. But remember, kindness doesn't take time. A small act, listening, holding a hand, sharing a moment, can be more powerful than any grand promise. And the miracle is, when we help someone, not only do we lighten their load, but we feel lighter and warmer too. The story of Ramu and Shamu isn't just about two donkeys, it's about us. People who seem strangers but are really fellow travelers on the same road, facing pain, loss and hope. Don't wait for someone to scream to listen. Don't let indifference be the shadow that haunts your life. If someone needs you, a loved one, a colleague, an old friend or a stranger, choose to open your heart. Choose to share. Choose kindness. Because in a world full of wounds, kindness isn't just a gift, it's medicine. Maybe we can't help everyone, but each of us can help someone. And if that someone receives help at the right moment, it could change their life forever. Just like if Shamu had carried one small sack, maybe Ramu would still be alive. Let this story remind us every day, one kind act today can prevent regret tomorrow. And if you were once the one who needed help but no one listened, don't let that make you cold. Let it teach you to become the person you once needed. Lastly, if this story moved you, share it. Tell it to someone who needs a gentle reminder that they're not alone. Comment with your own experiences, so others know kindness still exists in this world. And if you want to continue walking alongside stories of healing, compassion, and inspiration, subscribe to this channel. Not to follow content, but to build a community where no one carries their burdens alone. Be the reason someone smiles. Be the hand that reaches out at the right time. Be one small sack that saves an entire life.